Joe Biden releasing a social media, very professional video declaring that he will be running for president in 2024, seeking a second term. Let's go to our panel now. We're joined by Ali Clark, host of Breakfast on Mix in Adelaide, and Stephen Senatiempo, who's hosts Breakfast on 2CC in Canberra. Thanks for joining us, both of you. Let's upend our rundown a little bit and start with this breaking news out of Washington. I'll show you some of the video that Joe Biden has released early in the morning on the east coast of the USA. Here you go.
I ran for president 4 years ago. I said we're in a battle for the soul of America. We still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too. This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's how Joe Biden frames it in a very polished, professional announcement. There was no chance, Stephen, for him to stuff up his lines or whatever. It was all obviously pre-packaged while they were up in Camp David for the weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, though, that you call it breaking news, because remember he announced this a couple of weeks ago and said, I'm running again, but I can't tell you that I'm running again. But he says that Americans have got to decide whether they want more freedom or less freedom, more rights or less rights, and he knows what the answer to that is, but he's just not telling us yet.
Yeah, look, he's always said that he's going to run. I've always thought it's ludicrous, but they've got no other options, Ali. That's the problem. They don't really have any other options on the Democratic side. It interests me in his social media announcement, he talks about our generation needing some leadership, and I'm thinking, like, who is Joe Biden's generation? Is it people me and older, or is it young people in America? He's trying to appeal to them all, I suppose.
He's running out of the alphabet, isn't it? Baby boomers, X, Y, Z, whatever they're called now. By the end of a second term, if he gets elected, he'll be 86 years of age. And Chris, if me at the age of 86 years of age come to you and say I want to lead anything that's not just to go and get some nice food and sitting on the couch, you just give me a quick, swift kick up the bum because, wow, when I'm 86, I do not want to be running anything. Yeah,
well, I'd want to be playing a bit more golf, I suppose, as Donald Trump does. But it's not really his age, it's his mental capacity, right? We all see and deal with people in their mid-80s and older who are so sharp. For instance, the late, great Barry Humphries, we'll talk about in a moment, was well into his 80s, 89, I think, when he died, and sharp as a tack till the end. And John Howard, who we interview as often as we can on this station, mid-80s, sharp as a tack. But Joe Biden, Stephen, he's clearly just not up to it. He doesn't really understand what's going on around him.
No, and look, there's always been that theory, the conspiracy theorists out there that believe that the president's been a puppet of the movers and shakers behind the scenes. And I think Joe Biden kind of plays into that because he's clearly not up to the task. And as you say, age is not the issue, it's capacity. You know, I don't care if he's 90 years old or 100 years old if he's still up to the task. But the reality is that he clearly isn't. And despite all the glossy packages that he puts together, when it comes to flying off the cuff, he just can't handle it.
Well, one of the reasons we know he's not up to it, and Donald Trump put his finger on overnight, he said normally you'd get up and announce that you're running again and you'd have a bit of gusto and talking to people about it. But he can't be trusted to do that. So they've done this pre-packaged, it's not even just a direct delivery to camera. It's virtually a 3.5-minute election advertisement. Now, here's a little bit more of it.
Joe, I know we can. Because this is the United States of America. There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ali, the thing that cracks me up here that kind of moves me to despair, I suppose, when I think back to the Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump election campaign, I thought, oh, what a horrible choice the American people had. Then we had Trump versus Biden. And again, I thought, God, they're not getting much of a choice, the American people. But it looks like we're set to have Trump versus Biden again.
Can you believe it? I mean, no glossy video or announcement video is going to be able to hide what's to come next. So it's going to make for riveting, if somewhat disturbing and scary viewing at times, as we actually start to see these gentlemen go live with what they want to do for the future of that country.
It's a sad indictment on the under-80s in America that they can't find anyone in that whole country better than these two to run up at the next election. Just extraordinary stuff, unless Ron DeSantis comes through.